This is the Arn Show. Paul Bromwell here with you on the Four Horsemen Network. And as always, I'm joined by the Hall of Famer, the founder of the Four Horsemen, the creator of the Spine Buster. That's right, I'm wearing the new Spine Buster shirt. The 1A Tag Team Wrestling, our television champion, and my tag team partner. He's the enforcer. He's Double A. He's Arn Anderson. And I want to thank everyone as we get started here tonight for joining in. We always appreciate you being here. This is Ask Arn Almost Anything, and you're driving the show tonight. It's our favorite format. We do it once a month. Didn't get to do it last month, but we're back for July and excited to be here. But listen, before we jump in and I turn it over to Arn, we need to acknowledge the news that's really shaken the wrestling world, and that's the passing of Hulk Hogan. And it feels surreal, especially since last episode we were talking about Arn's wins over Hogan in February 1996. Arn and I were just talking about it this week, and it's just unbelievable that we had just talked about that. We know many of you are going to have questions. We're going to handle them with the respect that he deserves, celebrating the legacy, not just the loss. And as always, just encourage you to use Super Chat. It's the best way to get your question on the show. So jump in. Arn, we already have some great questions coming in. I can't wait for tonight. Look forward to the conversation. We're looking forward to a good time together here in the virtual living room, as I call it. But Arn, buddy, since the last time we were together, this one hit hard. How are you doing? And what went through your mind when you heard about the news?
Well, anytime somebody dies that you know, it shakes you to your own mortality, wakes you up. You know, Hulk Hogan is one of those guys that you just thought would, live forever, just because of his status in the wrestling industry and the way we perceived him and the way fans perceived him, and anybody that knew him perceived him. It was just like you just woke up one morning and sat up on the edge of the bed, and as you stood up, somebody hit you in the solar plexus. It's just really one of those things that's hard to digest, and I'm just happy to see. I wasn't friends with Hulk. We weren't on a personal relationship type deal. We were co-workers. I respected him for what he brought to the industry, and everyone that came after him benefited from him being in the business. That's for sure. He took it to a new level, and thoughts and prayers go out to his family. I know it's tough, and we all owe you one, Hulk. Let me just put it that way.
Well said, Arn. And again, just a very surreal, and can't believe that it just happened to be after we just were covering, your interaction and wrestling him twice, not once, but twice at Nitro. And here we are. And yeah, thoughts, prayers, the family. You think about the family, the close friends. I've seen Eric, practically in tears on his podcast, sharing thoughts on different TV stations and channels. I saw Brooke, posted some stuff on Instagram today, his daughter, and Nick, and obviously you think of those family members. So I've seen some questions already came in before we started the show. So we're going to get to all those questions again. Take advantage of Super Chat and all the other questions that you have for us tonight. Again, we're so thankful to have many of you that are faithful and to support Arn and this show back with us tonight. We're excited to be here. We had a little bit longer break, 2-week break than we normally do, but we're excited. We're going to get back in the rhythm in August. Can't wait for that. So again, we'll touch on some of those dates as we get into it, but this is for you. Tonight is for you to ask Arn those questions that you have on your mind. And so we look forward to hearing from you. Before we do, though, in typical fashion, Arn, I did want to touch on your big, we're only going to touch on one, next big appearance, and that's this coming weekend. It is in Charlotte, North Carolina. It is The Gathering. I'll put the picture up now. Brock and yourself. And it is a busy week, my friend, isn't it, for T-Mart Promotions?
Yes, it is. It's a huge event, number one. It's 4 days long, that in itself is quite a long show. They're usually just a weekend. This one's 4 days. Brock and I will start Thursday morning, and then Friday night is a banquet. honoring some wrestlers to be determined. Um, then Brock and I will be signing again Saturday, uh, starting out in the morning until however long, and then Brock will wrestle Saturday night, and we'll cut it off there. But it's close to Charlotte, which is always outstanding for us. You know, my career was always, the town is 5 hours in a plane away. This was 25 minutes up the road, and we look forward to having you visit our fair city there, Paul.
I'm looking forward to be there, Arn. I'm ecstatic, actually. I've been looking forward to this for quite a while, and you'll find me with the enforcer at his table. So I can't wait, Arn. Help you in whatever way that I can. And I'm excited to see you and Brock and just, so many of you. I've heard from several of you that say that you're coming, and I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this. Had this circled on the calendar for a while now. And last time we were together was a year ago in Iowa when you were inducted in the Hall of Fame. So I love doing this, but it's even better when I can hug your neck. And so I can't wait to see you, Arn.
Well, I always have multiple people say at these signings, we really like the podcast, which means they really like you, and it'll be an opportunity for them to meet you. You do a great job, and I appreciate it. I know our listeners appreciate it. Now they'll get to shake your hand and hug your neck and let them know what a good job you're doing.
Well, that's very kind of you, and I really look forward to hopefully being able to meet some of you. I really do. I think it'll be fun. It'll be a great time, and that's what it's all about. When you go to these events, not only is it you get to meet your favorite wrestlers or guys and gals that you watched in the ring when you were younger, but also the camaraderie and being able to see your wrestling buddies and friends there as well. And it's just it's so much fun. It's hard to put, adjectives to it, but I'm really looking forward to it. So can't wait to see many of you there. Otherwise, Arn, that's the only appearance that we'll talk about, but there are a few other things that we'll mention, and that is, and it's doing really great business. Thanks so many of you for supporting the Four Horsemen shop, the official store. You can see it there, the picture of the iconic Four Horsemen, the official merchandise provider of all Four Horsemen gear. Really excited to see how you guys are supporting Arn right now. There's the Four Horsemen collection, Arn Anderson collection, and then the classics. Damn, I'm Good from Ole Anderson. You can find that. And many others. So please check out the store, support Arn. And soon on that store, Arn, we are going to have the hardcover comic books, the last of the hardcover comic books, your comic book, available right there on fourhorsemanshop.com. Part of my journey down there is to get those up on the site. So we're looking forward to that too.
And they'll be there at the signing,
Okay, great.
We'll have a ton of them available for anybody that's had difficulties or not a computer whiz. And ordering off the internet seems like a chore. I'll have them right there for you if you want to grab one. We'll have them priced properly, and so everybody can have one.
Man, sounds great, Arn. Thank you so much. Looking forward to it. Listen, it is super chat time. We are 8 minutes into the show. Not too bad. Not too many major announcements. But Michael Jensen has a super chat. I'm going to pop it up on the screen for you, Arn. $50. Michael, thank you so much. He's not even here live watching with us. He put this in early. He said, I've missed a few weeks because of a new job. When Hogan slammed Andre at WrestleMania, I was 6 years old. And that's what got me hooked on wrestling until this day. Paul and Double A, what were your I'm hooked moments? And maybe thoughts on the Hulk Andre WrestleMania moment. So, Arn, let's start with you. What was that first moment or moment in time or moments that you thought, man, I'm hooked on pro wrestling? This is something that I really enjoy.
When I was living in Rome and I was just a kid, got Georgia Championship Wrestling on Saturday, obviously. I saw Dick Slater and Bob Orton managed by Gary Hart for the first time on TV. And it just blew me away how good they were, how good their teamwork was, how crafty they were, was phenomenal. It got me hooked right there. And I've told Bob Orton Jr. probably every time I've seen him, you and Dick were my idols. You know that. I'm sure he's tired of hearing it. but it's a fact. And as it turned out, you watched their careers develop. Wasn't a bad choice, I don't think. And the Hogan slamming Andre is probably one of the most unbelievable feats of strength this business has ever seen. It just took your breath, no matter at what age. Especially if you're in the business and you know how that is. If it's one glitch off, something don't happen, you're just going to flop a guy off of you. But to scoop a guy up and slam him, and the form was great.
Mm.
It looked like slamming a normal guy, and Andre had to be 500 pounds.
And it was the stage in which he did it too, right? So, as fans, he slammed him, at this event or that event prior. But again, as kids watching it, all you're hearing from the machine is he's not slammed him and this hasn't happened. And so we're hook, line, and sinker with our Saturday morning cereal. And we cannot wait for WrestleMania 3. And then all of a sudden, with the flashing bulbs of Pontiac Silverdome, to see that moment happen, it was surreal. I'll answer that last part first. It was a surreal moment, and one that's etched, at least in my mind. WrestleMania 3, I'll still say, go back to this day, I could turn that on and watch it start to finish and think, man, that is peak moment, childhood memory of that event. Coming down in the little in the ring carts. I mean, just everything about that event looks so cool.
It was meant to be an event, and an event it was.
Oh, so good. My hooked moment, again, I remember, for those that have listened to the show, my grandfather was a wrestling fan. My dad was a wrestling fan. And my dad would travel to Westminster, Maryland to help my grandfather do work sometimes on Saturdays. And I would tag along and turn on the old black and white, and wrestling would be on. And I just remember Hogan winning the belt from Iron Sheik, that 1984 match where he became champion. That is the excitement, the adrenaline, the charisma that Hulk Hogan had. It just grabbed your attention as a kid back in those days. It did for me, and I was on that journey as a Hulkamaniac. I don't know how many vitamins and working out I did as a kid. I was still eating too many scoops of cereal, but man, he was awesome. The Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling, I was all in. I actually have digital copies of that cartoon. Listen, I was a child of the 80s, so a lot of fond memories when you're talking about that.
We'll give you a pass on the cartoon.
Oh, man. Listen, thank you so much, Michael Jensen, for the questions, and thank you so much for the super chat.
Yes.
Awesome.
Bless you, sir.
Really appreciate it. Yes, sir. Darth Payne says, hey, guys, sorry, I'm going to miss you at the gathering this week, but one day, Darth Payne will get a picture with Tully and Double A, the greatest tag team, and Paul, the premier host of the show. Keep doing great. Darth, thank you so much. Can't wait to meet you. And, sometimes things come up in life, but that doesn't mean, we won't get together and have a good time. Again, get those super chats in. Otherwise, we're just going to keep going. I have some other questions, Arn, in the chat. The Mediocre Warrior says, Arn, who would you rather be locked in a room with? Michael Hayes, knowing all he'll talk about are the times he sold out Dallas, or Larry Zbyszko, knowing all he'll talk about is Bruno?
Well, I can laugh at Larry because we have that kind of relationship. Michael, I would probably just get pissed.
You just get pissed at him, but you would just laugh at Larry.
He's easy to dislike. Michael is both in his character and when he wants to be obnoxious.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Larry's hilarious. Matter of fact, I had a lot of fun traveling with Larry.
When's the last time you saw Zbyszko?
I don't know. It's been probably a couple of years. It's probably one of these signings somewhere around, maybe around Mania time, something.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the most enjoyable things for you doing these signings is just saying hi to your older buddies that you haven't seen in a while.
Yeah. It's, it's a family. It's supposed to be a family. It used to be a family. I don't know the locker room mentality these days, but back in the day, your livelihood and your family's livelihood was dependent on the guy in the other locker room. You made your money together, you made your careers together, you took care of each other, and that's what the wrestling business was, just a big family. And it's always good to see guys you haven't seen in quite some time. You make some better friends. I mean, we don't go home and get on the phone and call each other and all that. That's devoted to family time. But you realize what a close relationship you've actually made with people in the business when you see them after a long time.
Sure. No, it's and there's a laundry list of guys and gals that are going to be there this weekend. So I think it's just going to be fantastic to connect with so many. Instagram wrestling historian is up with a super chat. So let's throw it on the screen. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate your support. Always here at our show, at all the shows. I don't know where you find time in the day, but man, that's what makes you a wrestling historian. He said, I realized Brian Pillman wasn't a good fit as a Horseman member. I couldn't see him wearing fancy suits and living the high life like you guys. What are your thoughts on that?
Pillman was exactly what he was, I think. Let's put in quotes, I think. Yeah. He was a loose cannon. He was a different cat. He played his own flute. He did exactly what he wanted to, and it didn't matter what the norms were versus just things that were so outrageous. You got to go, is this guy kidding me or not? I mean, I don't think anybody ever knew Brian Pillman totally, or obviously figured out, was he or wasn't he a loose cannon? Who knows?
And if you traditionally think about the Horseman historian, you're right. There wasn't loose cannons. It was styling and profiling all throughout the group. Well-dressed. Then you had Luger, ripped, or a classic wrestler like Wyndham. But now this guy, it's almost like the evolution of the Horseman, where then all of a sudden, here comes this kind of wackadoo, crazy personality enigma that the Horsemen never really had in their stable. So it was a big shift.
Well, and I think he entertained Rick, and Rick was pulling for us, putting him in. I don't think
that makes sense now.
And that was a backstage turmoil that had everybody up in the air. I know he and I had many conversations about, you really want this guy, one of us? He don't really fit. No, Rick, no, this kid's what a great athlete, man. He played for Cincinnati Bengals. He was the guy that would come down and bust up the wedge. This guy's got talent. I said, yeah, I know he's got talent. That don't mean he's a Horseman. And that kind of conversation went on about every other week. So,
and it makes sense now that you say that. First Flair wanting him in, and then all of a sudden, like, what the hell are we doing? It just seemed like a good idea, and then it would just
until it wasn't.
Until it was. There you go. Love it. Some fun questions here. Mediocre Warrior. Mediocre Warrior, where have you been? Okay, I've missed you. I used to ask a lot of his questions before. Always good stuff. Arn, would you rather wear the Yeti outfit or sell Amway with Paul Jones and Ron Bass?
Wow, that's tough.
Oh, man.
Hey, listen, before I got in the business, I was the Orkin man. And I would sell contracts for getting bugs away from your home.
Did you really? I love it.
Yeah, that's trivia. The Orkin man. So I think I could do the Amway gimmick.
You could do the Amway gig.
That Yeti thing, I'm a little claustrophobic, as we know. Matter of fact, I'm more than a little. I'd have throwed up if it had wrapped me up in all that toilet paper.
Oh, my goodness gracious. This is so good. Let's go another Mediocre Warrior. I promise I'm coming back to some other folks. Mediocre Warrior says, if Ole was still alive today, would he actually like any wrestler, or would he say they were all the drizzling shits?
He would say they're all the shits. He used to tell me I was the shits.
And look how good Arn is. So there you go. That's an easy answer then.
Damn, Rock. That's a little solid. That's a little stiff.
The Boss, Arn. You've said several times that defeating Ric Flair at Fall Brawl was the biggest match of your career. I have two questions. Is that win your biggest singles? And two, where do the wins over Hulk rank?
I think Rick's was a longer, more traditional wrestling match with two guys that have a beef with each other, and they're not just out there entertaining. There's a fight going on, And I think that's where it was different from the Hogan matches. That was a carnival of mass proportions. It took everything under the sun to get his shoulders down for 3 seconds
Sure.
in that first one. And I mean, it involved women and shoes and powder and you name it. The match with Rick was just a fist fight to get my respect, and that was the story. And I think people, I don't know if they actually wanted to see us fight, but they were interested to see how it would turn out. And I don't think anybody thought I was going to win, for sure.
Well, Arn, the fact that you had such a great match with Rick, you wrestled Hogan twice on Nitro, winning twice. As we continue to walk through your career, it's been good for me as your, buddy on the side here and co-host to be able just to go back and it reaffirms to me just the legendary career that you've had. And so it's just been fun to just kind of go through this historical walk through your career and just be like, my God, Arn, what an incredible run that you've had as a wrestler. And we're not even anywhere near, we haven't even talked about the impact you had. You were talking about Bob Orton Jr. And who would have thought back in that time when he was impacting you, the impact that eventually you would have on Randy, his son, producing matches and things of that nature. I mean, it's so cool, isn't it?
Yeah, and Randy was such a natural too. I mean, his dad, if you go back and watch his dad's, like, just off the top of my head, go back and watch Bob Orton Jr. and Tito Santana, and just watch for the time the quality match that they had. And then when Randy came along, you could just see he's going to be a natural, and he is, and he was.
For sure. I'm going through all the questions. A lot of great questions, guys and gals. Keep coming and keep sending them in. Amy Vaughn, Miss Amy.
Miss Amy.
Yep. Hey, Arn,
best to your family.
She said, cannot wait to see you this weekend.
Oh, she's coming?
She's coming.
Very good.
I got to give credit where credit is due. She let me know, hit me up, and she was like, hey, did you get your ticket for the Saturday night wrestling event? And she's like, Brock's wrestling, right? And so she made sure I was all set and squared away for that event. And we are going to get to see Amy Vaughn this weekend. So I'm excited.
And he will appreciate the support big time.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's get into a few others here. CG said, good afternoon, evening, Arn and Paul, and the Arn and Paul living room. Hope everyone has a great couple of weeks. So glad to be here with you. CG, you're, again, faithful, always here, and so glad to have you, and appreciate it. Darth Payne, what did Arn think of Gary Hart when he managed Jay Tex? I wish Tully would have been there to help you and Rick and Ole.
Jay Tex.
Oh.
Was Jay Tex?
I know. I'm. It's not coming to me either, Arn. I'm going through a lot of questions. Darth, hit me up with who you're referring to there. We'll move to another question. We'll keep it going, but let us know who you're talking about. Daisy Mama, hey Arn and Paul. I know the preseason football. We're going football is coming up. I know, Paul, you're a Steelers fan, and Arn, you're a Panthers fan, and they play each other. My husband is with you, Paul, and I'm on Arn's side.
We need all the help we can get, so thank you.
Thanks, Daisy Mama, is what Arn's saying. Arn, are you looking forward to the season at all?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I love football.
I mean, but are you looking forward to watching Carolina this year?
Yeah, I'd love to be able to pull for them. I find myself cussing the entire time a lot of times in the past, recent past, and hopefully this year they'll come back with something. I don't know. Maybe some guys will step up. We'll see. But I will watch them every Sunday until further notice.
There you go. That was the group, by the way, going back to the J-Tex question, Muda, Funk, and Dragon Master. That was their group name. And that Gary Hart had the group. So he said, what did Arn think of Gary Hart when he managed that group?
That was the group that was our first angle when I came back from WWF, I think.
That's right.
They had Rick in the ring on center stage and had him circled up. And Ole and I came out and we cleaned house. And That was the reincarnation of the Horsemen.
What are your thoughts on Gary Hart, just in general?
I thought he was a brilliant guy where the business was concerned, and he had that shaved head, always had a suit on, had that obnoxious um,
The towel?
just the tone of his voice,
Oh, yeah.
accent, I guess was the word I was looking for. And he was great. He was a great, quote, wrestling manager.
We got a super chat in again. Instagram or wrestling historian. Thank you so much. Starcade 1995 is my favorite WCW pay-per-view. If you had been on Team WCW that night, which New Japan wrestler would you have wanted to wrestle? Now, remember, this is the one that we talked about where it was the stars of WCW versus the stars of New Japan Wrestling. Bischoff really wanted to try this concept out for a pay-per-view. So if you're on the card, Arn, is there anybody in Japan that you would have liked to take on head-to-head?
Muda.
There you go.
Easy pick. Hase would be another one.
Okay.
You know who Hase is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I always said he was, because I wrestled him on some of those tours, 3-week tours every night when I went and made the Japan loops. I said he was like a Japanese Ricky Steamboat. That's how smooth he was, Hase.
A wrestling historian put in the chat, nice, in all caps. They like that answer. So there you go. Daisy Mama, Arn and Paul, if I can ask for some positive vibes, please. I have to have surgery on my arm to replace the rods and everything in my arm. Daisy Mama, definitely prayers, vibes, good luck with all of that. My goodness.
We'll be thinking about you and praying for you. And just obviously it's an upgrade, what they're doing to you. You said rods taken out of the arm?
Yeah, rods put in her arm, yeah.
Was there an injury, like an accident where you broke it real bad and they had to put rods in? And maybe I'm just throwing shit against the wall right now, but if they're taking it out, I'm assuming they're going to replace it with something better.
Yeah, we'll have to wait to see what she says here, but we'll definitely get to that. We'll hear from Daisy Mama here in a minute. Rob Hissam, our buddy, our supporter. I see your comments all the time. He said, "Can we get a 4 Horsemen cartoon?" Arn, I'd love to see you animated, just walking around giving everybody spine busters. That would be fun.
Yeah, I'd love it.
Yeah.
Why not? It'll go with the comic book.
Yeah, I love it. Let's see what else we got. CG says, Arn, this may be a stupid question, but since Michael Hayes' name was brought up, did you and Tully or any of the other tag partners you had ever wrestle the Freebirds? Mainly the original 3 Freebirds.
Not the original.
Okay.
Jimmy Garvin and Michael Hayes. And I'm like the original Horseman. You'll never top that. The original Freebirds, you'll never top that. So you can put some other guys in there and who are great performers, great workers, and they have a great history and with the fans and wrestling, like Jimmy Garvin, for example. But it's never the same. And we never got a chance to wrestle those guys. They were in Texas while we were tearing it up in Crockett.
So I was on vacation, obviously, in Texas last week. You and I had talked about this. And so I was trying to say, man, that was one of those moments where I wish the old Sportatorium was still up and around, just to kind of go visit the Mecca of world-class championship wrestling. But it's way gone. So
you would have been, other than being a history buff, which would have overtaken you, it's a dump.
Yeah.
Dirt floors, the whole deal, right?
But somebody could be making some money just walking people through it.
Yeah. I mean, it has a history, and that's what you look at. Hey, for the longest time, Madison Square Garden, the backstage area was a dump.
Yeah.
You would get there with all these emotions, and going in Madison Square Garden, that's the measuring stick for any sports team or any entertainer. If you do the Garden, you've made it, But the history is the main thing.
We are getting a lot of great questions, guys. Continue to send them in. I'm just going through them to make sure I don't ask duplicates. So thank you. Ryan says, listen, Arn, it's on October 5th that the Panthers are playing my Dolphins. And trust me, Ryan, I know you're a Dolphins fan. He makes sure he lets me know about it every chance he gets. But October 5th, Panthers and his Dolphins. So
Where are they playing? Charlotte
uh,
or Miami?
I would have to look it up. Ryan, throw it in the chat. Let us know where they're playing. And we can tell you what we think is going to happen there. The boss, Arn, did you ever wrestle Maso Chono or Kensuke Sasaki?
Both.
Okay. Tag team
Well,
matches?
Chono was tremendous. He was the one that had the Black Rain look, right, with the mustache, the Go Manchu, and the hair was spiked. Him and Muda had some incredible matches, even though they were both baby faces over there. They wrestled each other, obviously, the rest of the year where there were no Americans around, and they had a match or two that I got to watch. Incredible.
We found out that it's going to be in Charlotte. The Dolphins Panthers game. It is in Charlotte. Thank you, Ben.
I'll go ahead and tell you what will decide that game is if number 10 cuts loose for the Dolphins, Panthers can pack it up.
Okay. Speaking of pack it up, we had an interesting question from Rob Hissam. Have we given up on the Braves yet? Go Phillies.
Phillies are a dominant team probably, and it's them or probably the Dodgers that'll win it all. They're really good. We got no chance at making the playoffs.
Arn's a realist fan. That he just shoots it like it is.
I've been sitting. It's been so hot. Been staying inside for the last month, pretty much. I've been watching every Braves game, start to finish. I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
And we've just had insurmountable injuries to key players, and you don't overcome that.
Especially some big time pitchers.
Pitching has been decimated.
Yeah. It's funny you just said that you've been sitting inside because of how hot it is in the summer. And we actually had someone put in the chat, Eric Tate. Arn, do you like summertime?
I used to before I got so friggin' old. I can't handle this heat. This humidity, 90%, 104 for a high. It'd kill me if I tried to sit out there longer than a few minutes. But I used to be a huge beach buff. Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Chris Orlando kind of asked a question piggybacking off of that. He says, great show as always. So thank you, Chris. But Arn, any hindrance by wrestling outside, as you did a lot in the mid 80s? Any issues with weather?
When this kind of heat it is, I can't imagine. Brock and them at Sting's event, which was this past.
That was in Charlotte, right? Was it Truist?
Past Friday, yeah. And it was outside, and Brock said, man, it was hot. And if you're 25 or 28, he's 28, it very little bothers you. Start being 40 years old, it starts to change. As we know, 50 is another benchmark where in this business, you're so beat up from wrestling and traveling and you name it. You add those layers of humidity and heat. I'm speaking for me only. It's got to pick your spots on that deal.
Yeah, for sure. Michael Weston he was talking a little bit more about the Braves. I saw a quick comment and I'll go to some others. He said, it sucks that Chris Sale, the reigning Cy Young Award winner, is on the injured list.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a guy that'll give you 6 innings of no-hit ball any day of the week.
Yeah, that's brutal. Let's shift because we mentioned this at the top of the show, and I know you talked about he was a co-worker. You really didn't form a super close friendship with Hulk, but Dylan says aren't any good Hogan stories outside of just working with him in the ring?
No, because we weren't together in any setting except at the building. And just that I was there when he was at his hottest, and the wrestling business in 88 was on fire. 88, 89, basically from 85 on. But, just being in the arena and seeing him come through the curtain when his music hit, it was up until that point. I mean, we had some great reactions. With Dusty would get incredible reactions. The Rock and Roll would get great, incredible reactions. Rick would get incredible. But just the deafening, one-sided reaction of the fans when Hogan's music would hit, it's like something I'd never seen before. It was unbelievable.
Yeah. The only one, my first match, card I ever went to, Arn, as a kid was 1986, Philadelphia. First one, Hogan, Orndorff, steel cage. But the second loudest memory is when Stone Cold was at his peak and hearing the arena pop.
And Rock, I would imagine.
Just nothing like it. Like when you're looking at your friend and you're trying to talk and you can't hear each other, that's when it's next level.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right, let's continue on. Heather Whitley. Heather, another faithful supporter, always here at the listening and watching. If you could create a faction to manage of 4 people, no matter the brand, who would it be?
Ooh. How about Powerhouse Hobbs?
Love them.
How about Cody Rhodes?
Great.
How about Steiner's son?
Braun Breaker.
Brian Breaker.
He's like a human torpedo with his spear. Good Lord.
Yeah, it's brutal. And I got one more spot, and let's do something not actually going with the norm. How about one for the other locker room, and then we go Ashley, Charlotte Flair.
Okay. Well, and I know she's not only a talented, wrestling persona and all that, but also a close friend.
And a ring general. Yeah.
Yeah.
She would bring she would teach every girl that she wrestled every night something.
I don't think that gets highlighted enough or talked about enough. It's not just what she does in the ring and, she was a former gymnast and can do all this great athletic stuff. It's what's between her ears.
She was brought up around the business, listening to her dad put stuff together, and her Uncle Arn put stuff together, and different things. I value her opinion. She values mine. It's you got to have somebody of each generation or a bunch of somebodies to pass the information of the day to the next generation of talent. If you don't, it gets lost.
For sure. And you mentioned Rick, you mentioned yourself. You talk about influences of wrestling psychology. Doesn't get much better than that.
I think we knew what we were doing.
I think so. CB says, Arn, at what point did you know WCW was finished?
When we went so heavily on putting the power plant guys, because a lot of the young guys had got into a beef with the office and got sent home, but there were a lot of stars on that list. When it became basically just the guys, and no disrespect to any of them, they were doing their best. There were some talented guys. They just weren't seasoned veterans that had a following. And when those guys from the power plant started taking 3/4 of the segments up on TV, I knew we were in trouble. People didn't know them. They weren't over. Didn't have an opportunity to get over.
That was, and I remember those days too, the new blood and to your point, no disrespect to them. It was just, it takes a while for people to be introduced to a character, fall in love with the character, want to support them, and really, you know what I mean? Pay your money, buy the merch, and get invested.
100%. And there was nothing about performance or ability to
Sure.
wrestle, or there were some guys with some incredible physiques. All that, it was just bringing some maturity to the TV show.
I love it. Let's continue on. I got a nice queue build up here of starred questions, a lot of great questions. Mediocre Warrior says, Arn, how did you come up with the idea of trying to reach for the tag when getting caught in a sunset flip? I used to laugh when you would do that in the middle of the ring. So Arn, they're ready to flip you down for the shoulders and you're kind of doing the wiggle and you're trying to tap and I've seen the gif on Twitter, but people loved it. How did you come up with that? It was just to build the stress of, is he going to do it or not?
In those days, I was a sick man. That's my only defense.
That's your only defense. I'll tell you what, though, you knew what you were doing. They call it the Aloha Arn, and it's a whole dance move. We're not going to get into it.
It is Shakespeare all the way.
Rimar Spencer, Arn. I don't know if anyone ever asked you this, but I thought of it. Have you or Tully as a tag team ever thought how y'all would fare in a tag team match versus Rick and Scott Steiner?
It would have been outstanding. I wrestled the Steiners probably 500 times with Bobby Eaton as a partner, Larry as a partner, different guys. They were great to work with because the people believed. They absolutely believed they were going to slaughter everybody that they wrestled. It was just a question of when.
Guys and gals, get your super chats in. I'll ask them immediately again. It helps Arn completely. This is all to help Arn out and support him. So I would ask you to think about that, and let's take care of our man here. DJ Ellis is up next, and he said, I became a Braves fan simply because of WCW wrestling. Every Saturday at 6:05, the Braves were always either on before or they were on after.
America's team.
Yeah, DJ, you're absolutely right. And back in the Dale Murphy years, and yeah, it was always the Braves, baby.
What a pitching staff they had. If we had that pitching staff for the Braves now.
Oh, man, you think about the Glavin, Smoltz, Avery as it transitioned into the early 90s. Greg Maddock.
Yeah, buddy. They had like 5 starters that were just
studs.
Perennial All-American, all everything.
Yeah, that would have line up. Brandon Dack. Hey, Arn, favorite tag team, Tully Blanchard, and you wrestled as 4 Horsemen and Jim Crockett. So who was your favorite tag team that you guys wrestled in the Crockett days? You and Tully.
Probably Rock and Roll Express. They were so over.
Yeah, the heat. You were heat magnets.
Oh, Ricky Morton could get more heat on you.
Yeah.
It was probably like, and every heel team would probably tell you that would be their answer, whether it's the Midnight Express or the Russians or Manny and Rude, you name it. Whoever the heel team was, they will tell you. If you ask them, they'll tell you Rock and Roll Express.
What a great program Midnight's had with Rock and Roll too.
Oh, incredible
chemistry, just so, and with Jim Cornette running his mouth, I mean, just classic stuff.
Oh, it's my favorite match. Midnight with Jimmy is my favorite team. There's no question.
Good stuff. Kids, if you've never watched those, go back. Watch the WCW Vault stuff. They keep uploading stuff on YouTube. Classic Great American Bashes, Arn. They've put on now 85, 86 different venues. Now, there's not commentary, but you can still just go back and watch it. One of these days, when you have some downtime and we're just not going to shows together, I'd love just to sit and watch an old show like that with you. And just, hey, do you remember this? I mean, again, this is 40 plus years ago, but it's just, to me,
we can do
fun.
that.
Oh, so fun. So then he wants to know, favorite tag team, Tully Blanchard and you wrestled as the Brainbusters with Bobby the Brain Heenan in WWF. The favorite tag team you wrestled up there?
Rockers.
Rock and Roll Express and the Rockers. That's easy to remember, guys.
Demolition, enjoyed that too.
Hey, speaking of Demolition, we're going to get to see them this week.
Yes, you are. One of my dearest friends, Barry Darso. Teresa's Aaron's probably best friend.
I'm looking forward to seeing Barry. He was such a great guest on the show.
Yeah, he's awesome human being. Love Barry Darsow.
Dylan's back with another question. Arn, who was your dream opponent?
Would have loved to have wrestled Kurt Hennig once, just because he was so talented, and our ships missed when when he was with WCW. I retired before we got the opportunity.
What was it? I think WWE just put out a Legends figure of Kurt Hennig with the AWA title belt. And I thought that was pretty awesome. I love that classic niche. Hey, we're still going to honor, even though it's an AWA world title, it's a Kurt Hennig action figure with the AWA belt.
You should sell a few of those.
To me, that's the good shit, guys. That's the stuff that you don't see all the time, every day, and I'm glad to see they still honor the legends in that way. Mr. T94, Mr. Anderson, I know you were in the Dangerous Alliance with him, but what's your thoughts on Rick Rude as a talent? We've talked about him here before on the show, Arn. Just in my opinion, I think he's an underrated worker / heel.
Yep, I agree with you. And he took his time, and he knew how to get heat. He didn't do a bunch of useless stuff, or he didn't waste a bunch of moves. Everything he did meant something. His facials were good. His body was good. He was a great heel to have on your roster.
He was. My favorite is the way he took the atomic drop. Nobody danced around like Rick Rude.
Oh yeah. Shakespeare.
They can talk about you in the sunset flip, but it was Rick Rude in the atomic drop shake.
Same theory.
There's some serious dance moves. If people want to clip those together, you two really were boogieing, if you think about it.
Could be a dance off.
Oh man. All right, let's keep going. You guys killing it with the questions. I love it. A food question. We haven't had one in a while. Darth Payne, Arn's go-to Waffle House order.
3 grilled pork chops.
He's ready. It's on the go as soon as I asked.
4 egg whites with mushrooms and onions. Hash browns scattered and smothered.
I'm so hungry. I always do this show before I have dinner on Tuesday night.
How's that?
Pork chops sound so good right now.
They're kind of small, so you got to get 3.
Do you like to dip your pork chops in anything, just plain, or do you like to dip them in barbecue or anything?
I pick him up by the bone and caveman them.
If you see Arn Anderson at a Waffle House, look out. Them pork chop bones might be flying your way.
That's right.
I love it, Arn. Daisy Mama, she's back to let us know about her injury. She said, I had a compound fracture in my lower arm. I broke both bones in lower arm, one in one place, the other in 2 places. They need to replace the stuff because it's affecting the nerves in my arm and hand. My God.
Whew, I don't even know what to say, except I'm so sorry. It sounds like a terrible accident.
Yeah. Well, Daisy, good luck with that surgery and the rods, and hopefully it calms down the nerves, because that nerve stuff.
I know about nerve damage. It affects a lot of different stuff.
For sure.
So I got my neck, different injury than yours, but still the nerve damage is for a lifetime. It doesn't heal.
Let's keep going. I'm continuing to get a lot of great questions. James Byers. Hi, guys. Thanks for another session. Hogan was the reason I became a wrestling fan in 1986 at age 5. I got to see Hogan versus Flair in London in 1994, but sadly, Arn wasn't on the tour. Arn wasn't there in 1994 WCW in London. Any recollection of the London tour back in 94? I know that's a long time ago.
I just was probably left off.
Yeah. Maybe just took a few days off and went to Pensacola that summer.
Who knows? Yeah. I just
can
probably
make something up.
I don't know what it would have been otherwise.
I think that's when you were learning and practicing the Aloha dance in Hawaii that summer. You were
That was a good reason to not be on TV.
I'm such an idiot. All right, let's keep going here. Ryan says, Arn, I just started watching, and I don't know if you've heard about this. If Brock told you, maybe the new WWE Unreal show on Netflix. Have you heard about this show where they're going behind the scenes with the cameras?
No, I've scrolled past it a few times. Cody is on the
Yes.
page.
They are giving all access behind the scenes look of how the shows go down, the writers' meetings. It's almost like what they've been doing with some of the NFL shows, where you get all that behind the scenes hard knock stuff. They're now
Right.
doing it with the WWE, but kayfabe is completely gone. You're getting the reaction. I just saw a clip. I haven't watched it all, guys and gals, so bear with me. But I did see the clip where when Tiffany said the line to Charlotte about the divorces, and then they're in the back saying, "Hey, was that part of the script?" And they're like, "No, it wasn't." They told Triple H, and Triple H is like, "Someone needs to get with Tiffany, tell her she shouldn't be saying that. She needs to go tell Charlotte she's sorry, and they need to be working together." Like, this is like stuff we've not seen before, Arn, and this is the new show.
No, and that's private information that nobody would know.
Yeah,
before that.
but people obviously in today's society are just eating that up. I mean, it's like
What's
TMZ.
truly behind the scenes.
Yeah. So
I'll have to give her a look.
Yeah, give it a shot. I'd love to hear your opinion when we come back one of these days on thoughts around it. Ryan also says, don't forget the Andy Griffith show probably had a lot of the WCW audience back in the day. That was another one wrapped around WCW. Andy Griffith.
I loved Andy Griffith. I must have watched every episode a dozen times.
Have you ever been to Mayberry, Mount Airy, the area where they did that show?
I think maybe once I went to Mount Airy for a spot show with Jim Crockett, and that'd be the only time. It's kind of out of the way. It's going up from Charlotte towards Virginia, I think. It's up around the line up there, which we didn't go that way very much.
Oh, Efren, here we go. Darth Payne, I wanted Tully and Double A versus Butch Reed and Ron Simmons. Darth Payne wanted you and Tully against Doom.
Why?
I guess he wanted you to see you just get pulverized.
They beat the crap out of me and Barry Windham. Me and Tully would have probably even been worse.
Oh, man. What a great tag team that was, though.
Call it like you see it, brother. They're two tough guys.
Two badasses, but I love Doom.
Simmons is superhuman.
Yeah. Michael Jensen, he kicked us off with an awesome super chat, $50. He said, happy to catch the end of the show. I'll watch the beginning on playback. Love what you all are doing and helping keep the great parts of wrestling in the youngins' minds. Buddy, thank you for your support.
Yes, sir, my friend. Appreciate you very much.
Yes, sir. And he, speaking of the devil, here he is. Michael Jensen made it to the end. Been watching a lot of 80s shows. Great. Grew up about 30 minutes from New York City. The color commentator on a lot of them was Lord Alfred Hayes. Does Arn have any dealings with him in his WWE year?
He was always a gentleman. If we passed in the hall, it was Lord, Mr. Anderson. Very respectful. Had a cool accent, I thought.
So you would just walk past him and say, Lord?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Mr. Anderson.
Your lordship?
Just we both kept walking, never slowed down.
Never slowed down.
Nothing.
Classic. Love it. Efren says, I understood none of that order at Waffle House. Arn dipping scattered hash browns? He's from the West Coast. I don't think he knows all that Southern.
3 grilled pork chops. Now they're thin.
He's going to say it slower. I love it.
Okay. 4 egg whites, not full eggs. Mushrooms and onions scrambled in there. And off to the side with just a little bit of ketchup on top. Just, a tiny amount were those crispy hash browns.
He still doesn't get it. This is so good.
Where are you from?
Efren's from the West Coast. He's in LA. He's an LA boy, lives in Arizona now. And so
may not be sophisticated enough. Okay.
No, this whole Southern smothered and covered is different in his world, but it's fun. Richard's outdoor world and photography. I can't even keep a straight face. I've heard Arn's story about his neck surgery and the pain he went through afterwards. So sorry for Arn having to go through that. And yeah, so thank you so much for sharing that, Richard.
Very kind of you, sir. I have nothing else in my life to compare it to from a physical standpoint. It's the most pain I've ever been was the post-op. When I woke up, it was like somebody took a cattle prod, poked me in my neck. It was brutal.
CG says, Arn makes two of us, my friend. Have such bad atrophy in my left quad. I got a big old indentation in my left leg. Nerve issues, pardon the pun, but they're a real pain in the butt. A lot of folks here that have really gone through some stuff, man. It's so sad to hear that.
Well, let me just throw this out there before it gets lost in the mix, and I don't want it to. It's kind of out of place, but along with the tragedy of Hogan and what everybody's been dealing with, all week, and Buff Bagwell has just kind of been forgotten.
I'm glad you said that.
Man lost a leg, and just knowing how he was conscientious about his body and how hard he trained and, his appearance and everything and how much he loved professional wrestling. It's just, it's such a sad, sad, sad turn of events, losing that leg. And I just want Buff to think that even though a lot of the hype has been on Hogan, at least here in this house, we haven't forgot about you. God bless you, man. I hope you do what I think you'll do, and that's put a prosthetic on and continue on with your life. But I just want to make sure that you knew that people are out there were praying for you and pulling for you, and good luck with it.
I'm so glad that you brought that up, Arn, and you're right. It's been kind of lost, obviously, in the news of last week. And it was Hogan. It was Ozzy Osbourne, for those that are music fans, had passed. Malcolm Jamal Warner, for 80s kids who grew up on the Cosby Show, obviously watched that show. A lot going on, but my goodness, when we heard the update about Marcus Bagwell, and saw the picture, it's that was rough, man. That was rough.
You're not kidding.
So I'm so glad that you said something there for sure. Few other questions. We're almost at the top of the hour here, and we'll wrap up again. Big thanks and shout out to all of you. We've had a variety, Arn. That's what I love about these shows. People get to ask you whatever's on their mind. We've heard about smothered and covered food. We've heard great classic wrestling stories. We've also heard a little bit about the Panthers, the Braves, Andy Griffith. I mean, we've kind of hit on a lot of things, and the Aloha dance. And we've learned that the West Coast doesn't know anything about a Waffle House order. CG says, I think I'm going to go to Waffle House after the show. Thanks, Arn. So he wanted to thank you that he's headed there as soon as this show ends.
Well, remember, you got to ask for egg whites, not regular eggs. Don't ask me why. I like both, but that's a pretty heavy meal. The egg whites are a lot lighter than full eggs.
I don't know, man. I feel like, I'm such a pancake guy, but that's a whole nother story for another day too. I'd have to get a few pancakes.
No room for pancakes without order. If you're going to get pancakes, just get pancakes and some bacon on the side. That's it. That's all you need.
It. Okay. James Byers, 2 more questions. Did you ever have any interactions with King Kong Bundy?
Nope.
There you go.
Did not.
Rumor Spencer, Arn, you once said that you grew up a Yankees fan because of Reggie Jackson. Just wondering, what did you think of the Yankees' current struggles and inconsistencies?
I talk about baseball a lot with Brock because Brock's like a Forrest Gump of sports. He's really smart and he keeps up with it and he watches everything. And we've talked about this many times. With their payroll, they should win it every year, every time. And it just makes you wake up to the fact that you can give a guy a big contract based on what he did last year. That doesn't mean he's going to do that this year. And they have spent some tremendous money. And you look at it like the Braves, who play small ball, and you look at some of these young guys like the shortstop, and I'm terrible on names, you know that kid, you can't get a ball by him to save your life. I mean, he's incredible. The catcher, they've got two catchers, both of them great.
Yeah. I was with a buddy who was just talking about their young catcher, and I can't remember his name, but he's
a clutch hitter.
Sean Murphy's the real good
He's
one.
the
But they got a
veteran.
young guy. Yeah.
But the other guys he's having a rookie of the year. He'll probably win rookie of the year, the other one. And he's a clutch hitter and just blocking balls that would be in the fence and scoring runs. Incredible.
Guys and gals, that's it. That's it for this week's, or this month, should I say, Ask Arn Almost Anything. I can't thank you enough for being a part of this. Just a reminder to make sure you check out Arn's shop, fourhorsemanshop.com. That's really where you can also support him and get yourself some awesome merch. I'm talking t-shirts like the one I'm wearing, t-shirts like the one Arn is wearing. We're going to have the hardcover comic books up on the site soon, but really impressed. The 90s Horsemen shirt is selling like hotcakes right now. So get in on it. And a lot of great tank tops right now in this heat. It's brutal out there. So really appreciate you supporting Arn in that way. Can't thank you enough. We're going to be back Tuesday, August 12th, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's March 1996. A few highlights: the Doomsday Cage match, Uncensored 96, March 24th. Hogan and Savage battle 8 men in a bizarre triple-decker cage. So that's going to be fun. Brian Pillman, he's officially gone. He walked out, and so we'll talk about that. And there's an outsider storm brewing behind the scenes in WCW. Scott Hall, he wraps up his time with WWF during this month. So we're going to talk all about these things. But Arn, I can't wait to see you in just a few short days. 2 days, Thursday. So I'm looking forward to seeing you soon, buddy.
You too, my friend. Now you be careful on that drive. That's a long drive.
It is, but it'll certainly be worth it. We're going to have a good time in Charlotte. If you're on the fence, thinking about joining us, do it. Make every effort to be there. Shake the hands of a lot of great veterans and legends of the wrestling business. It's going to be a good time, and you get to see Brock wrestle on Saturday night. On behalf, go ahead.
I just think one last thing. You'll have the opportunity, because I know a little bit about the events that are coming up. On Thursday, it'll be a Horseman photo, Barry, Tully, and myself, which that's one of those that we have not done in the past, just those three together. And who knows if we'll get to do it again. Just making you aware that'll be available Thursday morning.
Is JJ still coming that you know of?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right.
Wish you would.
Well,
I love James.
When I get down there too, I might whisper in Barry's ear, "Hey, what do you think about coming on the Arn Show at some point?" He's one we haven't had, Barry.
That'd be great.
Yeah, so we'll see, guys.
Okay, I don't know if he does podcast. If you know him doing one,
I'm going to find out.
Okay,
I love some Barry Windham on this.
He's pretty private. He's a pretty private guy, so we'll see.
That's okay. We'll get him talking. These people ask questions. Listen, we'll see what happens, but love you guys and gals. We'll talk with you soon. On behalf of Arn Anderson, the Enforcer, this is Paul Bromwell, and we'll see you right back here in 2 weeks on Arn